You know, I got a lot of scars and I got a lot of tattoos. And I've almost died multiple times. I've been stabbed multiple times. I've been shot at, attacked with weapons, jumped, you name it. The devil been trying to take me out, but he didn't have the power to do it. If it's not your time, it's not your time. But I used to kind of ask myself, like, why would God allow me to mutilate my body like this, especially knowing that he's going to save me? And I know the answer to that. It's because it's part of my testimony. When I walk in the street, sometimes people walk up to me, and ask me, you got a cigarette, man? And I don't smoke anymore, but that gives me an opportunity to tell people how I did stop smoking and how I did, stop drinking alcohol and how I stopped doing drugs. I used to do some of the worst things that you could imagine. I was a serial thief, a serial robber. I used to fight literally like every week. You know what I mean? Because of the demon that had control of me. It was a demon that had control of me that put these scars on me, that mutilated my body the way it is. And though sometimes I don't like looking at myself, I use this as testimony so people can see how far I've come. I was talking to somebody at my job the other day, and she asked me what I was listening to, and I was like, I was listening to a Christian radio. And it kind of blew her mind. She was like, "What? You listen to Christian?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's all. That's actually all I listen to. I don't listen to rap anymore, And then after that, we're talking a little bit longer, and somehow it came up that I went to prison, and then that actually blew her mind even more. And that showed me the change that I've gone through because I told her, I was like, yeah, I was in prison for 4 years. And she's like, what? You went to prison? She's like, you're just so calm and you're always like she couldn't imagine me being in prison. So that blew our mind even more than me, listening to Christian music. So it just shows me how far I've come because still in my mind it just doesn't seem that far away. Me being in prison and thinking the way I used to think. So even though I kind of regret getting my tattoos, I regret these scars. I don't like the way they make me look. I use them as testimony to bring other people. And there's people probably watching this video right now that are watching it because they saw the tattoos and saw the tough look. And I want to let you know that all that tough stuff, man, it's not what's up, man. And it's just going to bring you pain in the long run. Whenever God saves somebody, it's never for them. You look at the apostles, some of them were fishers, and they didn't have a lot of money and they weren't even that good at fishing from what we see in the scriptures. But the first miracle he did was fill their boat with fish. And that was just to get their attention, And then after that, they had a message to do. They had a message to spread, and they had work to do, and because it wasn't about them, it's always about the bigger picture. So when God saves somebody, it's not about that person. So you might be looking like, oh, well, God took him away from the streets. He's not doing the drugs no more. He's not fighting. He's not, playing with weapons no more. So he's saved. He's good. So that's the end of it. He's gonna go to church and just live happily ever after. If somebody does that they weren't saved by God. They just in their head couldn't take the street life no more. And trust me, I wasn't one of those people. I was one of the people that was very strong-willed and hard-headed. I would have stayed in them streets till they killed me if it wasn't for God revealing that he was real. So remember, when God says somebody, it's not about them. And it might even be about you. So remember that. And when he saves somebody, it's because he wants it to be a spectacle for people to see. When you see one of the worst of people that are turned around, you can know that only God can do that. It takes a supernatural changing of the heart to take somebody that was as far gone as I was and change them to a new person. That's something to think about.